And the Sun Devils move, kick it away to start. He'll start the return inside his 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. And what a performance this guy turned in last week. Spectacular in every aspect of the game, Jesse.
Well, I know one thing for sure. The quarterback is going to be looking his way early in this one. When you have a game like he did last time, your quarterback, you all of a sudden move up in priority in the pecking order for the guy throwing the football. So it's not going to surprise me early here if the quarterback looks his way, regardless of what the coverage is, based on what he showed last time out.
Yeah, and they were on the same page. It was fun to watch. I mean, you could tell that he knew exactly where his guy was, putting up the multiple touchdowns. Like, it was a thing of beauty. Now, defensively, I also know that. And I know he's looking that way. So look forward to seeing the chess match with the defense and maybe ways they can take him away.
On 3rd and long, hoping to throw beyond the sticks. He's got him. He'll be brought down at about the 18-yard line. Not enough to move the sticks. It's a completion, not a first down, but effective to give the punt team some space. Now on the return. And the punt team able to sling him to the ground. So Arizona State's offense will take the field for the first time. And what a performance, an aerial show from this guy in the last game, and he has to have a ton of confidence coming into this one, David.
Yeah, it was a great week. And watching that tape before this game, like, you could tell, man, he was seeing it quick. The ball was coming out, just touchdowns at will. A really nice day. And I think, Jesse, you take that and you start to build on it for this offense and really continue to trust him to make plays through the air.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think he really earned his offensive coordinator's.
Nowhere to go, and the ball is loose. Scoops it up, still a live ball.
That ball carrier is very lucky. That easily could have ended up in the hands of the defense. You have got to do a better job with ball security.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, no secret what he needs here. And he feels the heat coming in. It burns him up. Another sack.
How about this defense coming out the gates? First drive, getting to the quarterback. They wanted to affect the quarterback, make him feel uncomfortable. Already 2 sacks on this first drive.
The Sun Devils will line up to punt it away. Doesn't say much for your drive when you're looking forward to the punt. Able to get the first one of the day away. They did have to send him out 3 times in that victory last week. And the offense heads out onto the field to get the drive started. Thomas looking to fire. Caught behind the line. It's Garrett. When you reach this point in the season, these types of games, top 25 matchups, really determine whether you're going to be a contender.
Yeah, and really show what you're going to be the rest of the season. How are you going to finish strong throughout the season? You know, the first part of the season, now getting to the middle of the season, Palmer, getting a chance to show what you're about so you can finish strong.
It's a resume builder, no doubt about it. And really, there's been so much anticipation building up to this top 25 matchup. So which team can control their emotions, I think, goes a long way in who wins this one.
Makes the grab. It's Garrett. They'll say he goes out of bounds, mark it at the 46. Set up for 2nd and short after that completion.
And that's why they got to keep running the football, man, because play action is going to be a big part of this game plan. You've got to get this tight end over the middle of the field vertically and give him an opportunity, because you just saw how dangerous he is after the catch.
This defense is there again. They keep feeding the back, and he finds no success at all. Looking to throw. Got it in the middle. It's Cook. They'll move the chains. Good execution on 3rd down. They've got it at the 41. He might have expected to see this DB up in his receiver's kitchen. Instead, nice little zone, and they pick up the ball. Breaks into the open. Now he's got it all the way down to the 21-yard line, and they are threatening on 1st down.
Well, the offense didn't have the result they wanted on that first drive, having to punt, but they're having a lot more success here on the second drive. They're having some balance, and they're getting a rhythm. I think a big part of that is their ability to run the football. Very, very important to them, and doing a nice job on that last play, picking up the first down.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long.
Nice job by this defense creating that negative play. That's what all defenses want to do. But look at this. This offense, they ain't scared. Right back on the ball, ready to run another play, ready to make this defense work.
Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. He'll keep it himself. He couldn't get close to the marker, got 3 yards, but it'll be 4th and 3. They'll play it safe and send out the field goal unit. Smashes it between the uprights. And with that, they break the seal on the scoring. It's 3-0. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. They'll kick it away after putting up a field goal on that last drive. He'll return it. He's brought down at the 16. Would have been much better off to take the touchback. Arizona State has the ball back in the offense, making its way onto the field. They didn't get much done the last time they had it. Had to punt it away from deep in their own territory, hoping this drive will be more productive. They stay aggressive and push their way out to the 33, and it's 1st down. They'll ride the hot hand. Turning it on. They'll get him on the ground at the 46, and it'll be a 1st down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The offense setting up shop at the 46, 1st and 10. They'll try the run. Runs through the tackle. Let's take a second about Arizona State. It's not the end of the world. This is not one of those be-all, end-all games that we used to have in a different era. But certainly for the winner, clear shot at a conference title and perhaps a spot in the college football playoff and a bye.
I love it. It's a great show-me week. A lot of adrenaline, a lot of emotion. Like both these squads, really, really good football teams in really good positions in their conference. But, Jesse, after today, there can only be 1-1.
Yeah, the picture's going to change, no doubt about it. These two teams...
And the Heat gets home. They knock him down back at the 45. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And the Sun Devils will punt it away on 4th down. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Not going to get a chance to field that one, and the punt will bounce out of bounds. So, guys, we'll see this offense again. Gives it on the option. Pretty good effort on that one to work his way up to the 42. Good spot after that 7-yard pickup on 1st down. It's 2nd and 3. Thomas back to pass. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, but no flags. It'll be 3rd down. That last incomplete pass has him staring at a 3rd and 3. Pucks it out of the air. Nice job to pick up the 1st down, and they'll spot it at the 42. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. And on that 3rd and short, I don't think he was unhappy to see that zone.
Nope, it's a great job by the offense.
Always a welcome play for the defense as they get a sack at the 47.
Man, early in the game, I love when you set the tone and make the quarterback feel uncomfortable. Nice job getting him on the ground, getting your first sack of the day. Listen, they had 3 last week, but they want to continue to build on that number and keep getting it higher, and that's a great start.
They'll try to keep that sack from wrecking this drive here on 2nd and 15. Motion from the wideout. To the air on 2nd down. They'll run the screen. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the 1st down. Now facing a 3rd and long. From the gun. Wants to pass. Caught near the sticks. It's Garrett. And the quarterback stuck it right in the keyhole, and they've got it down to the 30-yard line.
And it's on third downs like this. If you want to attack the middle of the field, you got to look for the tight end. Really nice route. Great job looking that football in. You can tell this quarterback really has a lot of confidence when he's in the pocket looking for the big fella, and they're able to hook up there.
Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. Thomas looking to fire. Got the quick pass. They make the stop, but not before they do their work up top and pick up a first down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Now inside the 20, 1st and 10 from the 18. They'll run it to the right side. Guided out of bounds. They'll mark him down at the 14. 2nd down coming up on this red zone opportunity.
2nd down coming up.
Looking to fire. Here comes the heat. They get enough rush, and it pays off the sack at the 20.
And how about these defensive ends nowadays? No matter what scheme they're in, they're so strong but so quick, so they can beat you with speed or they can go through you. Either way, it's a tough spot for that offensive tackle to be in, and you saw that right defensive end come off the end and make the sack.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. And he's got it in the end zone.
And a really nice job understanding I got to get to that gap where there's a little bit of open space in the middle of the field when I run that post route. QB lays it out for him, and he catches it, gets 2 feet in bounds, in the end zone, touchdown.
On to attempt the try. And the extra point will tack another one onto this lead. 75 yards on the touchdown drive, and they close the deal with a 20-yard pass for 6. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. Handoff to the lone back. And this one will be stopped for no gain. They got nothing on the last play at 2nd and 10. Looking downfield, it's Donald. Bringing the heat. He'll try to do it himself. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. On 3rd and long, he has to throw for it. Finds his tight end. And they'll stop him about 5 yards short of the first. The Sun Devils will try to pin them back with the punt. He'll try to really get into this one. He'll field the punt and see what he can get. Tries to find a little more running room on that return, but he'll be stopped at the 36. Time winding down in the quarter as they come to the line. Power football with the run. And with that stop, we are headed toward the end of the first quarter. Both teams wanted to establish the run, and they have done exactly that in the first quarter. Just about ready to get things started here in the second. We'll see if they continue to flex that muscle. So 2nd down here as we're back at it after the break. The play action fake. Got rid of it just in time. Nothing to do with the football, and he just throws it away. It'll be 3rd down. Trying to pick up a first down. On 3rd down, he drops to throw. He's got his man. And the completion gives him a fresh set of downs and keeps this drive moving. They'll line up right at the 48-yard line on 1st and 10.
And after that long completion for the first down, did you see everybody sprinting to the line of scrimmage offensively? They want to go tempo right now.
And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few.
And quarterback dropping back, understanding I'm getting zone coverage. All I got to do is be a little bit patient, manipulate that defense a little bit. My wide receiver runs that drag, and I get the first down.
Brought down at the 38. It's a pickup of 10 and a first down.
This offense is clicking, and clearly everything is working. The offensive coordinator's calling good plays. The quarterback and his unit is executing. And this defense right now, they have no answers.
That pass is incomplete. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on second down. Just keep slinging it. And they're not on the same page there. It'll be third and long. Thomas back to pass. Going for it all. And trying to put points on the board on third down. Now they're staring at fourth down. They'll try to put 3 on the board as the field goal unit comes on. From 55 yards out, and he's got it. Never a doubt. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Hey, guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on a game happening in the SEC. Oklahoma is trailing, but don't tell me this team can't come back. I once saw Jalen Hurts lead the Sooners back from 28-3 down. We'll see what they're made of today. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Arkansas. We'll keep an eye on things until the final horn in a game that could shake things up a bit in the SEC.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. Into the pile, maybe got one. He stopped at the 21. Didn't get much on first down. It's 2nd and 9. Back to pass. They've got the screen set up. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed. They've got to come up with a big play on this third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. He tosses one high and deep down the left side. And they wanted it all on third down, but now dealing with fourth down. And the Sun Devils will punt this one away. They'll look to pin him deep. He will signal for the fair catch and take it just inside the 35. Guys, this offense coming back out onto the field. Wants to go up top on first down. Sets up the screen. Runs through a tackle. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage.
And this offense gets nothing done on that play, but look at them. They're continuing to run this tempo. They want to try to do something to get a spark going to create a big play.
They have it at the 43, 3rd and short, trying to avoid making a decision on fourth down. They'll move the tight end. They'll run for it on 3rd and short. Got a little space. They'll move the chains. Good execution on third down. They've got it at the 41. Up-tempo for the offense.
What a phenomenal job in the open field, breaking off the long run, and they're not going to just take their time and huddle up.
It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. They'll stop him at the 37, and the defense comes up with a big pick.
And what a great moment for that young man right there. That's his first career interception in college football. He's a guy that's worked so hard. He wanted to make an impact for his defense this year and comes up with a massive play right there.
Arizona State is going back on offense, and they come out looking for a spark. They really didn't move the ball at all the last time they had it, and hoping for better fortune this time around. Here's the pressure. Just had to get rid of that one. Good job to find another play. Working well behind the sticks on second down. Looking to pass. It's Donald. Pressure coming. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit. They're about to wear this punter out. He's already been out 4 times, staring at a 5th if they can't move the chain. Rush coming in hot, and they got him at the 29.
Well, I think one of the biggest reasons why this team is finding themselves in a hole here in the first half is this has been a sack party. They can't keep the defense off of their quarterback. They haven't been able to get the ball deep down the field, throwing it with the consistency they want because they can't keep their quarterback standing up straight.
The Sun Devils line up to punt it away. 3 and out and not much choice but to get rid of the ball. Another punt on the way. Got to make sure those hammies and glutes all activated. Don't want any muscle pulls from overuse. And the returner will be knocked down. And let's see what kind of ball plays this offense has ready. He'll start this drive firing. That's caught. It's Harmon. Nice gain on that play, but now looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Looking at a 2nd and short now. From the gun, they'll try the middle. Really good job by everybody there. Well blocked, good run, and a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs.
Really good decision-making by the quarterback. Don't get greedy. Yes, I can make reads, and I can pull it, and I can throw it all the yard. If I can take 10-plus yards and continue to do that and continue to be smart with my decision-making, this offense is going to be very difficult to stop.
Off play action on first down. Under fire. Just too much of a rush, and down goes the quarterback just behind the midfield stripe at the 49.
And they've been waiting for something good to happen with respect to getting after the quarterback, right? They're outside of the top 100 in the country in sacks per game, but finally now you see they're generating this pass rush. 3 sacks on the game so far.
They've already racked up big sack numbers. It's starting to snowball, and they are ready to go again. Thomas looking to fire. Right down the middle. Got him downfield. Brought down at the 20-yard line after ripping off the big play. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. This offense just gets a bolt of energy when they get a play like that. Now they're in the red zone, 1st and 10 from the 20. They'll send the tight end in motion. From the gun, the running back looking for room. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. 2nd down, they'll go to the air. Tight end finds a soft spot. Defense is there to make the stop, but he's got the first down, and they'll have it 1st and goal at the 6. They'll try to get it in with the run. He pushes his way down to the 4 as they get closer and closer. Defense going all in to stop the run. Back to pass on 2nd down. Big guy smells it. He's all the way down to the 2-yard line. Just spectacular execution there. The give. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. And this kicker is turning into old reliable. He's already knocked through a couple today. Never a doubt. And that will extend their lead even further.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
After putting up a 3-spot, the kickoff unit set to go. On the run from inside his own 5. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Arizona State has the ball back, and the offense making its way onto the field. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on 1st down. Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Back to throw, it's Donald. This time it's complete. Guys, when you think about Arizona State, really interesting matchup here. It's always fun when the top two teams in the conference get to square off in the regular season. With all the expansion, it's become a little bit of a rarity, hasn't it?
It has. Obviously, there's so many teams in each conference, but head-to-head still very much matters. So if you're sitting, obviously, at the top like these teams are, the head-to-head this day will really matter down the road.
Yeah, this was a game we circled way back in the preseason, expecting these two teams to be as good as they are, and now we get to find out.
Oh, he's got some space. And they'll move the chains and get it to the 47-yard line. We've reached the 2-minute timeout, and a score on this drive would do wonders for their confidence. They have been stagnant on offense, but finally a little forward movement as they've got a 1st and 10. Got his man in the middle.
Wow, the quarterback knew he had to get that one to his receiver quickly on the in route. Did you see the velocity on that throw?
Off play action. It's complete to the left. They make the stop at the 33, but 10 yards on that play and a 1st down. Wants to throw on 1st down. Using the quick game. And he's brought down after a nice game. We got a timeout here late in the 1st half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. And the Sun Devils will have it 1st and 10. From the gun, running back on the move. He's wrestled to the ground right at the 15-yard line, and a big red zone opportunity here. Timeout called by the offense, and now they just have one remaining in the half. Back to the ground with the running back. Jukes his way for more. They get him stopped, but those feet kept moving until he was down to the 5. Timeout called by the defense. It's their 1st of the half as they'll make some adjustments. Safe completion on the screen. They'll mark him down at the 2. The excellent execution on that throw and catch. They've moved him forward to the 2. Now it's 2nd and goal. He's got it down to the 1-yard line right on the doorstep of Pater. Offense calls a timeout here. Critically important to make sure they have the right play call and everyone on the same page here. Trying play action. Let's it fly. Touchdown, Sun Devils. Fitted in the window for the score.
And that was a really big score here at the end of the 1st half, just for their confidence and their momentum. They're obviously still losing right now on the scoreboard, but you had the feeling something positive had to happen here at the end of the 1st half for them to go in at halftime, regroup, and come out in the 2nd half now trying to build on that successful drive offensively.
And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. Precise, relentless execution on that 13-play scoring drive. And it was capped off by a 1-yard touchdown pass. He'll bring it out. It's Daly. Didn't find any crease in that kickoff coverage, and he'll be stopped at the 17. Offense has enough time to get off a play before we head to the half. From the gun, he leaves it with the back. Good, solid, determined run there. They'll mark him down at the 27. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Thanks, fellas. Perfect chance for us to put the first 2 quarters under the microscope. And the standout player on the defensive side of the ball has been that boogeyman back there at safety. They try to run it, he's filling the holes. They try to throw it, he's either picking them off or trying to take dudes' heads off. Good luck making adjustments. It's time to throw it back to our guys in the booth to start up the 2nd half.
They're lined up and ready to kick off this 2nd half. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Arizona State is going back on offense, and they come out looking for a spark. Fires to the big fella.
Nice quick throw there. It's so important for quarterbacks to be able to find a rhythm and to be comfortable and confident. You want to just get the ball out quickly, make it an accurate and easy throw. And you could tell that these two guys, they rep that play in practice all the time, and it's now showing up here on game.
If every journey begins with a step, this offense needs to step into a third down conversion and then try to turn it into some scores, and fast. Grab near the marker. It's Daly. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they have a first down at the 43. They're trying to seal the edge off right tackle. What a nice job by the defense to string it out, not give him any kind of alley, and knock him down for a loss. To the air, it's Donald. Makes the grab. Nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, only a place to be tackled immediately. Some third down conversions tougher than others. This one, a long one on third down from the 43. Sun Devils send out the punt unit. They're up to a half dozen kicks today. That nifty return sets up the offense and negates some of the yardage on the punt. Here comes the offense onto the field again. Tight end now in motion. Gives it on the option. A confident, tough, efficient run gets it up to the 44. Halfway there on first down, it's 2nd and 5.
And you're seeing the offense now mix up the tempos. After a successful run, they're now going hurry up.
From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. Nice pickup there. Gets him the first down and sets him up at the 45-yard line. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs.
And the offense with a nice run, breaks off a little bit of run, gets a first down. Oh, and here they go again. First down, you've seen this. They like to go fast.
Good, solid pickup there. Now they can start to smell it with a first down at the 31.
The defense has got to be able to make a play at some point here in the second half. You're down 2 possessions. You need to steal a possession badly. You need to have a takeaway. The coverage is going to have to be way tighter than on that last throw. Otherwise, this offense is just going to go up and down the field.
And that's your goal. Separate man from ball. Try to get your shoulder in there on the catch point and really give him something to think about. Physically jar that football and not...
There he goes! Makes the tackle right at the 21-yard line. Pickup of 10 on the play, and his offense is threatening with a first down.
Love the play call on the RPO, and you're just really trusting this running back to be able to make a guy miss and then get into the second level. The offensive line did their job, gave him a crease, but that was the running back making that linebacker miss in the hole before getting north.
They're dealing with a 2nd and long. From the gun, the give, looking for room. Running behind those pads, he gets a couple before he's stopped at the 18. Now facing a 3rd and long. Wide receiver comes in motion. Thomas back to pass. Looking for the end zone. Pass is incomplete, but a lot of contact there. I think it's going to be pass interference and a first down. This offense needs all the help they can get today, and that pass interference penalty is a much-appreciated lifeline. Marches ahead. And this offense hoped to just run it in, and the defense was having none of it. No gain. Ball remains at the 2. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Can the D deny them on 2nd and goal? Trying to slam in. Bounces into the end zone for a touchdown. Follow the blockers. The offensive line will take you to the hallelujah land.
And I tell you what, most of the time, Reese, it requires a little bit of skill to find that hole and slither through a little crack. That was not a crack. That was wide open. Didn't take a lot of vision because the blocking was outstanding.
And the extra point extends the lead to 16. So they take advantage of good field position and move it 46 yards. And finish the deal with the short touchdown run from the 2. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Arizona State has the ball back and the offense making its way onto the field. That last drive won't go on the highlight reel after ending in a punt. They'd like to be more productive this time, David.
And I think this offense has to be a little bit more balanced. Find a little balance between the run, Jesse, and working in that pass.
And I think, too, David, it's just going to take a spark. It just takes one play to get this thing picked up. And
really good job to pick up a chunk of yardage and get it out to the 39-yard line. Here's a quick throw out to the left. They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there. Still a little ground cover to pick up the first. Quarterback on the keeper. Keeps it himself and gets the first. And he slides down and gets just enough to move those chains. One running back in the backfield, and he has it.
That's a really good job by the defense, wrapping them up, getting them on the ground. Take away that run game. Make them one-dimensional, put them in passing situations. Really good job by the defense.
Working the middle of the field, and it's complete. Tackled almost immediately. They're well short of the first down. Looking to throw, it's Donald. Fires to the middle. Can't make the catch on third down, and the rarest of drops for this guy. And the Sun Devils decide to punt it away. That thing was down for a while, but the big bounce carried it into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. And the offense out on the field to go back to work. The give out of the gun. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball.
And that's exactly what you want to do as a defense, man. You want to get penetration and not let that tank get downhill. Because when he gets downhill at that weight and that size, it could be a problem for your defense. Get him before he gets started.
It'll be third and long. They go to the draw. And they're able to get a third down stop here. See if they go for it on fourth. The punt team makes its way onto the field. This will be the second time they've had to kick it away. Coverage team does a good job and touches it dead. No return on this one. Arizona State is going back on offense, and they come out looking for a spark. They'll crank up this drive with the pass. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on first down. Second down coming. So now it's second and long. Off the play fake. And he can't connect on the throw. It's incomplete. And this offense can ill afford to come up empty on this drive, already trailing by multiple possessions. On third and long, trying to have a big completion here. And that one's incomplete. They weren't just trying to move the chains. They were trying to move the scoreboard. Instead, it's fourth down. So from his own end zone, the punt is away. And the coverage team able to make the tackle. So we'll see this offense make its way out to start the drive. Leaves it with the back. Continuing to turn and move it forward, and they're closing in on midfield. It's down at the 48.
The offense has a little bit of success on the ground, and they're up. Look at them. They're ready to go again, back on the line of scrimmage, ready to run another play.
Keeps it on the bootleg. Got out of trouble and throws. Grabbed near the marker. It's Cook. They bring him down, but not before he's able to pick up the first down.
You knew coming into this game, if they throw completions and get first downs, that's when they like to change up the tempo and go fast.
Breaks into the open. The tap. They are seizing control and taking away hope as they push out the lead in this Week 8 showdown.
And to have a rushing touchdown of that type of yardage, you've got to be able to make something miss. It's one thing to get into the second level, but can you make that last defender miss? And you saw it on that play. Once he was in the clear with his speed, he was gone.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And they add the extra point to finish the drive. We check in with Kevin Connors. What's going on, Kevin?
Guys, every game in the Big Ten so very critical. How about this one today? Wisconsin has just had no answers today, and I'm not sure you could put J.J. Watt back out there inside Camp Randall and expect a different outcome. They're trailing by 24 to UCLA. It's an outcome that, if it holds, will have Big Ten fans buzzing all week. Guys?
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. They'll run it out of the shotgun. Able to work it to the 39-yard line, and that'll be a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Pulls and throws off the RPO. At the 45 on its way. And no, he loses the ball after the huge gain. Defense covering it up and not letting the offense get it back. Gets a turnover.
Great job by the defense here, forcing the fumble on the wide receiver. Look, understanding the ball came out quick. I got to break, get Hats to the football, secure the tackle, try to get that football out. Nice turnover, nice hustle by this defense.
They'll snap it from the 37 for the first play of this drive. Coming out on first down with the play fake. Caught over the middle. It's Garrett. They'll get it to the 48. No need to measure. It's a first down. Thomas looking to fire. Gets it out fast. They get him down, and that'll be the final play of the third period. And talk about spreading the ball around. Everyone getting a chance to show off the hands based on the number of targets we've seen. One more quarter to play, and it might be unlikely, but hey, it's college football. Comebacks happen. It'll be second down as we open the final stanza. Out of the gun, the running back has it. And he never had a chance, just stopped cold as soon as he got it. It's third down, and they have to get it to the 42 to move the sticks. From the gun, wants to pass. Strong pass rush, gets to the quarterback, and they get him at the 46.
And I love playing man coverage on the back end, getting in those receivers' faces. Don't let them feel comfortable in run zone where they can find all these holes in the zone, and my rush can't get home. Pressure them, pressure them, pressure them.
They bring the punter onto the field now. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one. And no chance for the return man to get his hands on that one as it hops out of bounds. Arizona State has the ball back in the offense, making its way onto the field. Off the play fake on first down to throw. I don't think that's the way they drew it up. Incomplete. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on second down. Wants to go up top. Excellent coverage and good use of the hands to knock it away. Let's see what call they have on third and long from the 28. From the gun, wants to pass. Nowhere to go, and the ball's loose. Once that ball was loose, offense didn't have a chance. Defenders everywhere, it's a turnover.
And that is exactly how you draw it up. You get to the quarterback, but you get the football out. You hit him, you try to rake it out. Great job by the defense, getting the sack, getting the fumble.
Great place to start for this offense. Thomas back to pass. Unloads to the wideout. Works it into his hands and then waltzes it into the end zone. Touchdown. That one pushes this lead out a little bit more here in the fourth, and now they can smell 8 straight wins.
And this offense continuing to put up points. This game's out of reach. You know you're going to win, but still throwing the football, still finding that connection. I imagine there'll be some salty handshakes at the end of this game.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And he made the extra point without problem. That's taking advantage of a golden opportunity set up with great field position, and they struck quickly for the touchdown. And he takes this from inside the 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Arizona State is going back on offense, and they come out looking for a spark. Weeks like this are tricky, but you have to respond better than they have, and I would expect they'll take a major hit in the rankings next week. Not what they had in mind to start this drive. Here comes 2nd and 13. Looking to fire. Here's a heat. And the heat gets there, and they get him down at the 14-yard line.
I know this defense came into this game hoping to get pressure on the quarterback, but I don't know in their wildest dreams if they ever thought it was going to look this good. I lost track at 5 sacks. They have been all over this quarterback today.
Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to turn one loose downfield. And here comes the pressure, and there he goes down again.
And this defense came to play. They know about the high-profile QB. They rose to the challenge and dominated the competition today. They took care of business, and they made no doubt about who's the better football team.
The Sun Devils will bring the punt team onto the field. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. So from the shadow of his goalpost, he gets the punt away. He's got great speed. The solid return there offsets some of the punt yardage and really sets up this offense nicely. Hands it off. Breaks the tackle. Not much running room there thanks to this senior defender. After the productive first down play at 2nd and 6. Thomas looking to fire. Throws to the tight end. And they won't make the connection going for the big play. Couldn't find his man last time, and that leaves them with a 3rd and 6. From the gun, wants to pass. Finds his man down the middle. Just outside the red zone as they pick up the first down. They'll spot it at the 22. From the gun, the running back has it. Able to move it ahead a couple of yards. He gets it down to the 20. Picked up 2 yards on that last one. They need 8 on 2nd down. Leaves it with the running back. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Got his man quickly. They'll make the stop about 3 yards short of the first down. So here comes the field goal unit again. This kicker has already made 3 in this one. Just drives it between the uprights. And they just tack on a little more to this gargantuan lead.
And they just tack on more points to this big lead. Listen, 4th quarter was sitting extremely pretty. All we got to do, not give up big plays, make them earn everything they get the rest this way, and we looking pretty good.
From inside his own 10, let's see what he gets. Arizona State has the ball back in the offense, making its way onto the field. It looks as if this game is going to be one to just drag. Turning it on! He'll move it up to the 37-yard line, and it'll be a first down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. They're going to ride this running back. And there was nowhere to go, just stopped in his tracks in the backfield. And the Sun Devils with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Quick spin on the rise. Quick step and go. Good pickup there as he gets the first down, and they'll mark him at the 48.
By the receiver.
Passing game kept this drive moving. Let's see if they try it again.
First down for the offense.
To the air, it's Donald. Throws for the tight end. And they can't connect, but the flag flies, and I think this is going to be pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referee's caught it.
Off the RPO, complete. They make the stop. Not a whole lot of ground picked up there, and they'll have work to do to get the first down.
Second down coming up.
Wants to fire on second down. And he dropped it. It looked for all the world like that would be a catch, and he just got too excited. Now facing a third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Couldn't quite haul it in. They almost had their first pick here late in the game. And they decide to trot out the kicker. And very important not only to generate power, but to find his mark. A 49-yard try from the left. What a disappointment. No good. I guess the idea was to chip away at a big lead. Consider the lead not chipped away yet. Here comes the offense back onto the field. On the ground, trying to pull the plug on this clock. They stop him cold, maybe gets a yard to the 34. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. After picking up a couple, it's 2nd and 8. Back to pass. Flips it out on the screen. And this one will be stopped for no gain. It'll be 3rd and long.
Third down coming up.
Tight end in motion, see how the D reacts. Thomas back to pass. Quick strike complete. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the first down. We've reached a 2-minute timeout. In all likelihood, they could just run the clock out. We'll see if they want to rub a little salt in the wound. The kick is on its way. Takes it on the return. Couldn't get away from that cover team, and they've got him down at the 23. This drive opens up at the 23-yard line. They'll start this drive going to the air. That, friends, is a busted play. Incomplete. Or will they dial up on second, and a long way to go. After the incompletion, they go back up top. Catch in the middle, it's Daly. He makes the stop almost as soon as he catches it, and they're short of the first down. On third down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. Got his man. Gets it to the 42-yard line, and that's a first down.
16. And that's good enough for a first down.
From the gun, they'll give it on the inside. Pass to Sticks, him still on his feet. They'll finally drag him down, but not before he gets it to the 40, and it's a first down.
Listen, his team's obviously down in this game, but it's not his fault. I mean, this guy showed up to play. He's been churning out big play after big play. Already over 100 yards rushing in this game. He's carrying his weight. He needs his buddies around him now to pick up the slack a little bit and help get this team back in the game.
They're going to go right back to him on first down. At the 20, he's got space. And he'll take it in for the touchdown. It won't have much impact on the outcome of the game, but it is a fabulous parting gift, a consolation prize, if you will.
And a nice touchdown, continuing to fight, continuing to play. This one, it's pretty much over. Down multiple possessions this late in the football game. It would take a miracle, but nice job by this offense continuing to fight, push the ball down the field, make plays.
Ready to try the point after.
For the extra point.
Hit that one with some aggression for the point after. A very efficient 5-play scoring drive. And they finished it off with a 40-yard touchdown run. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. Here's the handoff. Spins away from the defense. And he was able to run through one tackle, but still only a modest gain.
At the 28-yard line. Brings up second down.
Coming into this one, we wondered whether these guys were a little bit overrated, and certainly they did nothing to dispel that notion.
They were playing angry today, and I know talking to some of their players, David, coming into this game, they felt like they were being disrespected. A lot of people thought their opponent might get them today, so they took this opportunity to make a statement and make an example out of their opponent.
And those are fun moments in the locker room, aren't they, Jesse? Like, everybody's doubting us. Nobody thinks we can win. It's really easy to motivate that type of squad. They played motivated. They played a little ticked off. I'm here for it. I love it. I love the excitement, the adrenaline, the emotion, and they earned a big dub today.
That will put the wrap on things from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis. You've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.